Hi guys, Piotr here, this LiteFinance Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be with you again, this time from Lisbon. Alright, greetings from Lisbon this time. Past Sunday we had election day, but also today ECB and Bank of England, so Europe on the radar when it comes to the traders, and we are going to discuss euro, dollar and pound a bit. As you can see, right after the Lagarde start, we do have quite strong rally when it comes to euro. Looks like the market takeaway is that Lagarde is hawkish a bit. Well, what the difference when it comes to the ECB compared to the Fed, we're still within the ECB. The members they think it might be transitory. It's related to supply shock as well as energy prices jump compared to the Fed, where there is a more customer demands and higher wages. That's gonna be quite important when it comes to the medium long term, but that's how we have the reaction into the Lagarde. All right. Of course, the real reaction we are going to see within the next 48 hours, meaning somewhere close to the week, or maybe at the very beginning of the next week. So that's about ECB. As I mentioned, here in Portugal last Sunday there was election day, and I've got the from my very own source living in Lisbon. I've got a little bit of the comment. It's gonna be like, good wording. So the socialists destroyed the extreme left. All left voters voted for the socialist. The right side is fragmented now, and the liberals and extreme right probably will have to work together over the socialists within the next 4 years. The socialists probably will not make any reforms, and nothing is going to change. The Prime Minister will try to enter as a Commission President in 2024. Socialists, they have a majority, and with the bazooka of 44 billion come from EU, they can, fight for themselves and be on a winning position. All right, so that's the short summary from the Portugal. Anyway, let's have a look what we have when it comes to the chart, because that's what is most important, and we are going to cover the weekly possible close, and looks like we are trying, if you do remember what we were discussing, we are trying to fight with this upper shadow, upper swing high, taking into the consideration the failure below 1170, 1135, whereas discussed before, break below, there was a possibility that if we are going to go through that low, over the course of this week, we might retest 110, 190, 50. Looks like there is a strong profit taking towards the end of the week, and the bears might be in trouble short term. When it comes to longer term chart, also the blue line, it was very important from the weekly chart perspective. We were discussing, taking into the consideration what we've seen before. So as of now, it's gonna be worth to watch levels close to 14, 50 and 15. This swing high, that could be some liquidity above, and the broken zone of 15 level, right to the downside. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the day chart, and looks like today is very, very important. Why? Because check where we have the latest weakness, how low we went, so it might be that market may want to hit this consolidation pre-break to the downside, and then we will see. So let's make some measure here. Let's have a look what we have. So that's the latest weakness, that's the move to the downside. If we are going to move higher, there we go. It's even higher than 15, it's towards 1570, and this daily chart swing high from the very beginning of the November 2021, all right? As of now, I would look for, from the bearish perspective, I would look for the failure around this high, and then again around this measurement move when it comes to the latest weakness as a possible supply zone. When it comes to the demand, in that case, so above 15 towards 1570, when it comes to the demand, in my opinion, this latest weakness, all right, 1350, 13, with the very low of the day today, it should work as the first possible demand, and then eventually over under as a next demand level. So 1350, 1310, and then again possibly around 1180. So that's the euro dollar. Let's have a look the last chart, intraday one. There you go. It's gonna be better visible here. Demand, a really big one on that level, all right? And when it comes to the supply, I would be, as I mentioned, I would be very careful trying to chase that price, because even with this intraday measurement, that move and that move, we might want to take out a few stops and retest the levels we discussed around 1470 from the intraday perspective. Then again 15 and 1570, don't forget about that. So both sides are discussed when it comes to the euro dollar. Let's have a look what we have on the euro pound. Also very interesting situation, especially that we are fighting on this weekly demand, weekly support zone, and we're trying to get back. Bulls are trying to hold that one and recover. If that's the case, from the medium long term perspective, this type of the zone between 83 and 93 could be the name of the game. So for example, there are two ways to watch this weekly chart. Either we are breaking through the falling trend line, retest Riley, right? Or for the even more aggressive traders, it could be enough if we are going to get the weekly close above 84.25, 84.50, right? Retest and continuation to the upside, because we took out some stops, we are trying to recover. If that's the case, then these stops over here might be targeted from the weekly chart perspective. Daily chart looks really bullish at this very moment. If that would be the end of the day, there was the attempt to break lower, nice rejection, very strong one. So now we took out the stops to the downside. It's time for the stops or even something more to the upside, and from the daily chart perspective, 85 is the first possible target then, okay? To the downside, this one around 83.25, 83 is working or might work as a possible demand zone. And finally, intraday chart on the euro pound. There we go. A little bit of the rejection around the possible supply towards the London fix, but this zone clearly holds with this stop count to the downside. So stops to the downside done. Now we might see attempt to go higher. In that case, possible attempt retest of the broken line, first target and then if we are going to break out through the range to the upside, this size to the upside as the next possible target. So if we are talking about the more or less 100 pips, then we are talking about 85. That's what we had from the daily chart perspective. Move and daily close below today's low is going to cancel this bullish scenario. And finally, cable. There we go. Let's have a look. Weekly chart fighting around 35.50, 35, trying to recover, right? But fighting around the weekly open. I would watch the weekly close, because if the bears are gonna be able on that particular candle to build upper shadow, but closing below 35.40, 35, then continuation to the downside could be in place. Otherwise, some more stops to the upside towards 38 as the possible medium long-term scenario for the bulls. Daily chart also bullish after yesterday break and move back above this particular level. Today we are trying to get lower, but as of now, continuation to the upside. From that perspective, I see few supply levels. The first one around 36.70 on the daily chart, and then this stop hunt when it comes to the supply to the left side. All right, so that's how I see the things on the cable. And from intraday perspective, with some levels, we have these upper shadows. But if dollar is going to lose the ground versus euro, probably we are going to lose the ground versus pound as well. From the intraday perspective, the first possible target around 36.50 over under. The next one over here, 37. That's what we discussed. Possible demand, I would like to see retest mid of that range, right? So something closer to 35.20, 35. In case of the deeper move, that's how it could work. Guys, with that being said, please do your own research, do your own homework. All right, it was my pleasure to be with you. Again, greetings from Portugal. See you around, take care, and goodbye.